And now, WWE Network presents NXT TakeOver New Orleans pre-show.
NXT Universe, we are coming to you from a sold-out Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. It is the biggest weekend in sports entertainment, and tonight, on the eve of WrestleMania, all caution being thrown to the wind as we prepare for what will no doubt be a showcase of NXT's finest, who are putting it all on the line in hopes of leaving New Orleans with gold around their waist and pride on their side. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NXT TakeOver pre-show. I am your host, Charlie Caruso, and I've got to say, I am so excited to be here this weekend, and I'm also so excited to introduce to you the two gentlemen who are joining me this evening on the panel. First and foremost, he is the host of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts Show, the last professional broadcaster, Mr. Sam Roberts.
Thank you so much, Charlie.
You are welcome.
I can't believe another WrestleMania weekend is upon us, and we get to start it off with a night of action like you've never seen before. You know, this might be the best takeover of all time, and I've seen them all.
I have no doubt about that. And the second man joining us on the panel, he is a newcomer, and it's a man that I've actually known for a few years. All right, he is with Barstool Sports. He is a former NFL player. He is an All-Pro. He is Pat McAfee.
Charlie, thank you for that incredible introduction.
Of course.
Sam, you look amazing. Charlie, you as well. You talk about this being the greatest takeover of all time. This might be the greatest night of sports entertainment in history, Sam. The card is loaded from top to bottom. I am so lucky to be here. I'm honored to be here, and I cannot wait for it to get started, Charlie.
Pat, we've got to talk about the fact that this is your first WrestleMania weekend. I mean, how do you feel to be here in New Orleans?
I had a chance to kick off a Super Bowl in Miami when I was younger. I came to the Super Bowl here in New Orleans. I've done all these things, but nothing can compare to a WrestleMania weekend. I was eating dinner the other night, and the Stinger was eating behind me, Sam. The Stinger splash with the baseball bat and the mask was right there. Elias walked in. I walked with him for a couple minutes. I shook Vince McMahon's hands, Sam.
What?
I shook Vince McMahon's hands. In catering, I ate with Shawn Michaels. Everything is awesome. This dwarfs any Super Bowl experience because it really is about the fans. It's about the fans, and it's about amazing moments. And tonight, we're going to have a bunch of them, and I'm so excited to watch.
It's only going up from here, and we also, let's mention the fact that there is going to be a new inaugural North American champion being crowned tonight. That's pretty awesome.
Well, that championship is being introduced here tonight at TakeOver, and you saw the actual championship unveiled by Triple H on social media. The championship looks gorgeous, but those athletes that are in this match, I mean, you've got high flyers like Ricochet, you've got big men like Killian Dane. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so who is going to be the new North American champion? Guess what? There's only one way to find out. That's on the WWE Network. So head on over right now to WWENetwork.com. Sign up and start your free trial. Now, there is so much going on tonight. We're crowning a new champion, 4 championships on the line, and actually a man's career as well.
That's right. Tonight, as we were just talking about, the inaugural NXT North American champion will be crowned in a ladder match where it's EC3, Killian Dane, Adam Cole, the Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and Ricochet, with that championship held way above them.
As a resident of North America, I cannot wait to find out who our champion is, Sam. Also tonight, we have a winner-take-all triple threat tag team match for the Dusty Cup and the NXT Tag Team Championships. Undisputed Era takes on Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne and the Authors of Pain for what should be a magical tag team match.
And the NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon defending her title against the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, who promises that she later on tonight is going to make Ember tap, nap, or snap before the match is over. But Ember, she has other plans in mind.
And Pat, I guarantee you this one is going to be the opposite of magical. It's an unsanctioned match with Johnny Gargano's career on the line. The only way he can get back to NXT is by beating his former best friend, Tommaso Ciampa, and NXT has washed their hands of this unsanctioned match.
Tommaso's beard is righteous. And for the NXT Championship tonight, Andrade Cien Almas will be defending his belt against the Dutch Destroyer, Aleister Black. If he hits that fade to black and becomes a first-time a new NXT champion, the roof could be blown off of this place, and I can't wait to watch it.
And if all of that is not enough to convince you, well, guess what? All new subscribers, WrestleMania will be free to all new subscribers to the WWE Network. Yes, you heard me correct. The 5-hour spectacular, the show of shows, absolutely free to new subscribers. So head on over right now to WWEnetwork.com, sign up, and start your 30-day free trial. All right, we have a lot going on, not just inside, but also outside here in New Orleans. So let's send things over to Kayla Braxton, who's standing by with the NXT Universe.
Hey guys, we're having as much fun there as we are obviously having out here. It is NXT TakeOver New Orleans. We are right in the middle of WrestleMania week. I've been at WrestleMania Access the past couple of days. Tomorrow next door at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome next door is WrestleMania. But the NXT Universe has sold out the Smoothie King Center tonight, and they are ready to steal the show once again. And I want to hear from you guys what you think about some pretty big matches. So we're going to ask them. So let's kick it off talking about the NXT Championship, okay? Is it going to be NXT Champion Andrade Cien Almas or Aleister Black? It looks like a lot of people want to see a new NXT Champion. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, here's another one. Tommaso Ciampa or Johnny Gargano? Johnny Wrestling! Johnny Wrestling! Johnny Wrestling! All right, we're a little split, half and half here. Okay, one more, guys, one more. For the NXT Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler or the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon? What do we say? As you can see, that's one match we are all looking forward to seeing. That's right, Shayna Baszler and the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon, for that NXT Women's Championship.
All right, well, you heard the crowd. It is a strong-willed Ember Moon defending her NXT Women's Championship once again against the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Both women, they have each other's numbers in a match that's bound to get extremely physical.
I can't understand how Ember Moon is able to withstand this kind of pain. Oh, Moon stacks Baszler! Moon does it! Oh my God!
Here's your winner, and still the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon!
Oh my God, Shayna Baszler from behind! We need help out here!
Shayna's trying to end Ember's career.
Who really won tonight? Ember didn't beat me. She survived.
Shayna Baszler is proven that she will not play by your rules. She'll play by her own. I'm a magnet, I attract it. Everywhere I go, you know trouble follows. I'm just a magnet for pain.
Who's the bigger fool? The one who makes the system or the one who follows it? Ember Moon got in line, she came up through the system. There's not a rule book that says you have to do that. That's just what everyone thinks. Most people are fools. I did exactly what I needed to do. I pushed all of Ember Moon's buttons, get under her skin enough that she challenged me. That's not me skipping the line, that's me playing the game. TakeOver New Orleans isn't gonna be a wrestling match. It's going to be a fight.
I am ready for a fight. Shayna attacked me from behind. She almost broke me. I fought through the pain because I refuse to sit on the sidelines again. Shayna walks around like she owns the place, like she deserves to be handed everything on a silver platter. That's not how you get respect. I don't care what your background is, Shayna. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what you did. This is NXT, and I'm the NXT Women's Champion. I am going to break you, I am going to hurt you, but most of all, I am going to embarrass you and show the world that you are not worthy of the NXT Women's Championship. You started this war, Shayna, and at TakeOver New Orleans, I'm gonna end it.
After NXT TakeOver New Orleans, they're going to call me the champion.
Shayna will never be champion as long as I am standing.
Well, if the challenger Shayna Baszler is nervous, you would never be able to tell. She looks fully determined to capture the NXT Women's Championship tonight, even if it means playing by her usual dirty rules. But you see Ember Moon here, she looks equally as determined. I know she is prepared mentally and physically. That intense look in her eyes tells me she is not willing to give up this title anytime soon. And guys, in her words, she said, as long as I am still standing, Shayna will not win that title.
Well, that's the attitude she's going to have to take. I mean, let's talk about how close Shayna Baszler came to winning the Women's Championship the last time they met. That was only 3 months ago. And in the last 3 months, the experience that Shayna Baszler has picked up, I've been watching her, and she's already, when I watch anyway, feeling like a different competitor.
Right, in the last match, she did get injured. Her arm was hurt. It has been bothering her for the past few months. Pat, you have competed with an injury before, so tell me, how does it feel when you're getting back into the mode of competition, and does it mess with your mind a little bit?
I have so much respect for what Ember Moon has had to do, because whenever you're injured and you're battling through it, it's not just when the lights are on. It's every day, day in and day out. You think about the injury that happened to you. And Shayna said she's going to snap, tap, or make her crap. Is that what she said, Sam?
I think crack.
Something around those lines.
Oh, whatever it is. I hope not. I got a chance to talk to Ember Moon yesterday and watch some highlights. That eclipse, the corkscrew stunner off the top rope, is one of the most electrifying things I've ever seen. She's a real nice lady. This snap tapper crap lady seems real rude, and I'm pulling hard for Ember Moon to retain the title, and I can't wait to watch the athleticism shown by both of them.
Being a nice lady is probably not exactly what Ember Moon wants to do in this scenario, but as a person who's been injured at the hands of another person, when you're healed up and you meet with that person again, does it play mind games with you? Do you look at them like, I know you have the ability to hurt me?
The human that hurt me was a 300-pounder who I knew had the ability to hurt me or kill me at any given moment. So whenever we met each other again, I just went about my business, Sam, okay? I just walked right on by. But that's the difference between me and Ember Moon. She has grit. She's ready to get a little vengeance. And tonight, whenever she puts on that show, and if she hits the eclipse, that corkscrew stunner off the top rope to retain the NXT Women's Championship, what a great moment of fulfillment for her after all that she's been through in this trilogy. Honestly, with the tough snap tap and crack lady.
That attitude of yours is probably why you were never women's champion.
Yeah, I would have never been able to be women's champion, Sam.
I don't think so.
I agree with you on that. I just want to let you know it's tap, nap, or snap.
Okay, that's on me.
There's no crapping involved here.
That's on me, because you would think that with some of those moves, I saw that the choke she had. On me, once again, probably the third option that I keep mentioning if that happens to me in public and or in the ring.
But that's why you're a broadcaster now.
Here I am.
Sam, here's another question I have. Shayna, she's been really just running, her ways are really intimidation-based. Is she a worthy women's champion in the NXT division? I mean, is she someone that the NXT women's division would be proud to have as a champion?
Well, I don't know if the NXT women's division would be proud of her, but as far as the NXT universe goes, a lot of us watch this and go, it's about winning matches. The person who is the champion should be the one who can win the most matches, and Shayna Baszler has proven that she doesn't care about making friends. She doesn't care about earning the respect of her locker room. She simply cares about beating whoever the best is so that she gets called the best.
And she can beat up anybody. Like, anybody could get it with that lady. Anybody could get it. Not just the women's division, by the way. That's how so I think the NXT universe would respect her championship, but boy, it'd be a lot better if Ember Moon kept that strap.
All right, one word. Who's your prediction to win?
I think tonight's Shayna's night.
Wrong. Sam's wrong. He's got great hair, good eyebrows. He's wrong. Ember Moon retains the title because she's a nice lady.
All right.
Supposed to be one word.
All right. We've got the...
I don't do that, Sam.
Split predictions here. Okay, we have so much more coming up on the NXT TakeOver New Orleans pre-show. Make sure you stay with us. We're not only breaking down more matches, but Drew McIntyre will be on the panel joining us in a bit.
Andrade Cien Almas defends the NXT Championship against Aleister Black.
NXT She-Dog Ember Moon battles Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship.
Former best friends turned bitter enemies. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match. The stage is set.
This is going to be awesome.
This is NXT TakeOver.
the shot. Take the shot. What a save.
Make incredible saves and score amazing goals in Rocket League, an award-winning hybrid of arcade soccer and driving. Play for fun, live to play. Rated E for everyone.
A special thanks to Kane Hill for It Follows, the official theme song of NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and it's from the self-titled album Too Far Gone, available now on iTunes and Spotify. And Kane Hill will be performing live here tonight for a sold-out house at TakeOver New Orleans, and the minutes now ticking down until we're live on the WWE Network with NXT TakeOver on the eve of WrestleMania. And something everyone here is excited to find out about is who exactly is going to be crowned the inaugural NXT North American Champion. A ladder match starring 6 very hungry superstars, all looking to cement themselves in NXT history.
NXT is the brand where we bring you the very best competitors from various regions around the world. And as NXT continues to grow and expand, it is imperative that we determine the standard bearers, the measuring sticks for what it means to be the very best. That is why at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, we will be introducing the NXT North American Championship with the brand new title suspended above the ring in a ladder match.
What? 6 superstars. 1 ladder match. Who will be the first ever NXT North American Champion?
It's only fitting because with 100% of the world watching, they will see the top 1% rise rung by rung to his preordained destiny.
6 drains. No. There can only be 1 drain. 1 NXT North American Champion.
I make history. I'm the man around here. And there's not a single person who deserves that championship more than me.
6 bodies will enter. 5 bodies will be buried in the chaos.
They're not opponents. They're victims. The era of Lars will begin.
What a way to show everybody there's only one Ricochet, and I make it look good.
Chaos. Destruction.
Chaos has no remorse.
Domination.
I have no remorse.
And championship gold.
Can you hear it?
My vision is the NXT North American Championship and new. TakeOver New Orleans.
I'm going to become your first ever North American champion.
I paint my masterpiece.
This is the biggest match of my career, but that's where I thrive.
Dream over.
Well, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. NXT General Manager William Regal really stacking up this match with 6 very talented superstars.
Well, you heard the NXT Universe when the match was announced. We have been so excited since then that this was going to happen. Think about all the questions that are going to get answered in this thing. You've got, what's EC3 going to bring to NXT? What's Ricochet going to bring to NXT? Is the Velveteen Dream finally going to taste gold? And what happens when Lars Sullivan is 9-10 feet in the air? All of these answered in one match where we crown a North American champion. I can't wait.
I've seen some highlights on YouTube of that Ricochet character.
Yeah.
What a stick of dynamite he is. Adding a ladder into his set of skills, I can't fathom what he's going to pull off. Then you add in Adam Cole, who's a little bit of a marathon man tonight. Then you got Shrek and Killian Dane doing their thing. Lars, obviously, the big men in there. Velveteen Dream and the human money printing machine, EC3. This could steal the show tonight. This could really steal the show tonight. And it's a big deal because North America, a lot of landscape there.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the champ? I cannot wait to find out.
Well, 6 superstars all vying to become the inaugural NXT North American Champion. One of those men being none other than Undisputed Era's Adam Cole, who is actually now joining us here to help talk about this match. So Adam, Charlie Caruso here. Welcome to the panel. I have a couple, we have a couple questions for you. We know that you have quite a night ahead of you, not only going for the NXT North American Championship, but Bobby Fish also out with an injury, so you will be stepping in his place to compete with Kyle O'Reilly for the Tag Team Championship as well. So you are pulling double duty tonight, right?
Yeah, right. Like, I call tonight a travesty. Literally a living, breathing travesty. You might as well call this NXT TakeOver Let's Screw the Undisputed Era. Everybody knows I have my hands full with the NXT North American Championship ladder match. Yeah, I said ladder match. And now I have to go in there because of an injured Bobby Fish and defend these tag titles alongside Kyle O'Reilly. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Adam Cole, how's it going? Your old friend Pat McAfee, the guy that ruined a match of yours at NXT.
Pat, shut up. What are you even doing here? You're not worth my time or anybody's time.
Well, I think that was a little rude, but just a quick heads up. I have a headset now. I got makeup on. I'm a broadcaster. Sam Roberts talked about it earlier. And I'm also getting a heads up here in the earpiece, Adam Cole, I think, because I'm above you in the totem pole all of a sudden.
Oh, really?
I'm just getting some news that is about to be broke all in your face, Adam Cole. The first match is going to be the 6-man ladder match for the North American Championship before your triple threat winner take all Dusty Cup.
Wait. You're meaning to tell me the very first matchup is the 6-man North American Championship ladder match. So I have to go through a ladder match first before I defend my tag team championship.
Yep, that's what I'm being told in my earpiece here. Now, I'm not sure who's exactly saying it. You might want to take it up with them. But as a guy who has ruined one of your matches before, is this going to change your strategy to possibly get 2 wins or maybe no wins tonight? How are you going to address this, Mr. Adam Cole? Baby.
No wins. Yeah, you wish I had no wins, just like William Regal wishes that we had no wins. When we came in here, we shocked the system. Tonight will be the biggest challenge of our group's life, but I promise you, we'll find a way. We'll find a way, because you can keep trying to screw us over. You can keep trying to mess with the Undisputed Era, but we always come out on top. Always.
So, Adam Cole, it's Sam Roberts, the last professional broadcaster, and obviously you're upset. This isn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but what was the goal? What did you think was going to happen when you guys came and interrupted the finals of the Dusty Classic last Wednesday on NXT television?
What did I think was going to happen? I don't know. I thought maybe we were going to prove a point, prove exactly what we say we are, what we show we are, and that's the best team in not only NXT, but all of WWE. Nobody deserves the Dusty Cup. Nobody deserves the NXT Tag Team Championships more than the Undisputed Era. And that's a fact.
I want to tell you, Adam, you're saying a lot of things about deserving this, deserving that. You're whining a lot. You sound a little soft. You sound a little soft, Adam.
Really. Coming from a punter. Coming from somebody who does not matter at all whatsoever. That's like you trying to give Peyton Manning some advice. Are you kidding me? This is my world, Pat. You can't tell me what to do, ever.
Well, I actually broke news to you, Mr. Cole, baby, and I'm pulling hard for you tonight, so you don't walk out of here with 0 losses, sir. Oh, he left.
Pat, you trying to get him to compete in a 3rd match tonight? Because you might be on the chopping block. I don't know. You're pushing his buttons a bit.
I need to do not. That man would absolutely beat the living dog grumpy out of me.
Well, you better be careful then.
But the fact that he has to go from that ladder match, he could be mangled. Who knows what's going to happen? And then the triple threat tag team match, winner take all for the Dusty Cup and the NXT Tag Team Champions. Adam Cole is going to prove a lot to a lot of people tonight, baby.
Absolutely, proven a lot, being on double duty. He is also competing in the Tag Team Championship match. It is going to be the Undisputed Era against the dominant Authors of Pain and the unlikely duo of Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. The winners of this match not only taking home the tag team gold, but also the Dusty Cup.
2018 is shaping up to be an incredible year for the NXT Tag Team division. It is my honor and privilege to announce the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. This tag team tournament honors the memory of WWE Hall of Famer, the godfather of NXT, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Get a dream, hold on to it, and shoot for the sky! I've always loved the competitiveness of the great tag teams of the past. And now we look for tag teams of the future. opportunity knocks. And let's get down and dirty and get on with it, baby.
Not only will this year's winners win the Dusty Cup, but they will also face the NXT Tag Team Champions at TakeOver New Orleans.
We begin the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
These two men have won it before, and can history repeat itself again?
And the Authors of Pain advance to the finals. Roderick Strong is in the tournament. Let's find out who his partner is.
Something in me is liking the team of Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong.
The Cinderella story continues to the finals.
NXT does not realize what they have. Bobby, with you being out and injured, we're trying to find any way possible to make sure we keep our tag team championships.
A tremendous final in the 2018 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. AOP looking to take advantage early.
AOP is clearly the favorite here, but Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong have to feel unstoppable.
Incredible match here with so much at stake. Oh no!
Come on!
Well, the Undisputed Era putting a brutal attack.
The referee has ruled this as a double disqualification.
Who wins the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic?
A TakeOver New Orleans. It will be Undisputed Era.
We are untouchable, unstoppable, and we are going to retain
Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne.
If you think that we can't get the job done, you must be mad.
And the Authors of Pain.
The tag team division belongs to us.
In a triple threat match. The winner of that match will be the winner of the Dusty Cup and the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
NXT TakeOver New Orleans just got bigger.
Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne. Tonight, NXT TakeOver New Orleans is sold out. Not only is the Dusty Cup on the line, but also the NXT Tag Team Championship. Are you guys excited for tonight? Nervous? How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I mean, Pete looks pumped, but tonight's huge. Since day one, I've wanted to be a champion in this company, and tonight it finally happens. When Mr. Regal gave me this opportunity, and I was looking around the NXT locker room trying to find somebody to have my back, somebody I felt like I could trust, I found that man, and I found it in Pete Dunne. Tonight we get it done.
Undisputed Era put their foot in their mouth when they got involved in our business. And tonight I'm going to put my foot in their mouth and my fist and whatever else it takes to get the job done.
I like the sound of that.
Well, you can't count out the Authors of Pain, who are formidable opponents, former NXT Tag Team Champions and former Dusty Cup winners. Are you guys worried about them at all?
Are we worried? Yeah, their resume is fantastic. They're big, bad dudes. And they're going to bring the fight to us. But Pete and I, we're going to bring the fight right back to them.
Let's finish what we started.
Well, Roderick Strong is right. Pete Dunne has a great poker face. You can tell no emotion that man is feeling.
Well, one emotion, and then whatever emotion it is that a guy that wants to get in a fight, that's the emotion that Pete Dunne has.
You know, they call them the unlikely duo. I mean, you look at it, Roderick Strong just not too long ago was competing for the UK Championship, and now here they are as teammates. And I think that they actually pair really well together.
Well, yeah, they pair really well, but you have to think about how high caliber this match is and what's on the line. You're talking about the Tag Team Championship and the Dusty Cup. You're talking about a team like Adam Cole, right? He's going to be having to go through a ladder match before he gets there. You've got the Bruiserweight and Roderick Strong that have, what, 3-4 matches experience as a team? And then you've got the Authors of Pain, one of the most dominant, one of the biggest, one of the most destructive teams in history that also
They've heard
have
a lot
Paul
of
Ellering.
books. They've heard a lot of books on that Pain, too.
They
Those guys
did.
are some intimidating folks.
Yeah, very prolific authors.
Many leather-bound books they've wrote about Pain. It's incredible what they've done. The Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne relationship. It's always in the biggest moments where you worry and wonder if the camaraderie is tight. Camaraderie is huge for a team's success, and who knows what the ego will do. Fists and kicks in the mouth, he said, Pete Dunne said. I'm excited to see him put that belt in his mouth, come out here, and this entire matchup should be magic.
But as a guy who's a team player, you have to know that there's got to be an advantage to being in a team that's worked together as a team, that's only worked together as a team.
And I think that could be a good thing for the Undisputed Era here. Now, granted, they're under New World with Bobby Fish getting hurt and getting out and Adam Cole coming in, but they're one coherent unit there. They know the deal. They're all in. If Adam Cole is still standing afterwards, they're in a good spot. But the Authors of Pain, you're talking about chemistry. You're talking about intimidation.
Yes.
Two guys that I would not like to see anywhere near me. If they're angry, happy, it don't matter. They write books on pain, and I'm excited to see what happens. If I was to compare them to humans, they'd be the largest NFL guys I've ever seen. I've showered with a lot of guys, Sam, a lot of big men. When those Authors of Pain walked by me, a couple book writers walked by me backstage, they were absolute immense, obese humans, and I would not want to get into the ring with them ever, let alone if I was a non-chemistry having team or a guy who just got out of a ladder match. It's going to be tough to beat the Authors of Pain tonight, Sam.
What does showering with them have to do with it?
Well, it's one of those things you really get to see every nook and cranny.
I see.
Okay, so the Authors of Pain, super dominant. They've not only won the Dusty Cup, they've won the Tag Team Championships on an NXT TakeOver stage. I mean, they know what they're doing, and I don't think that they have any intentions on taking it easy on the Undisputed Era or Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong tonight.
Well, here's a conversation that the WWE Universe has had, because we're always talking about the Authors of Pain when we talk about the tag team division here in NXT.
Right.
And one thing you have to remember is that it's been a long time since they held those tag team titles, and the Authors of Pain are not here on NXT to be anything except champions.
Okay, fair enough, guys. I want to get your predictions on who is going to take home the tag team title tonight.
You know, if the Undisputed Era can do what they've done so well for all the time that they've been together, it will be their night, but I just don't know if Adam Cole's going to be able to pull it off after that match. I think the smart money's on the Authors of Pain.
Wow, winner take all. You're thinking the Undisputed Era takes home the Dusty Cup and the NXT Tag Team Championship?
It's possible.
I'm not sure. I don't know if they can retain it. I honestly don't see how you beat the Authors of Pain. They write books, they hurt people, and they're incredibly large and obese. I think their chemistry is going to help, and they're going to taste that beautiful flavor of championship level again tonight here in New Orleans.
Pat, they create pain. They're not, the books aren't.
That's on me.
They write books, guys. We also have a lot to get to later on the NXT TakeOver pre-show. We have an unsanctioned match to talk about between Gargano and Ciampa, and that is coming up next in the pre-show.
I have an hour's worth of energy, 5 hours of work to do.
4 more break jobs.
3 more classes to teach.
2 more yards.
Help.
When your battery's running low, grab a 5-Hour Energy. It'll help you get back to 100% fast.
I'm back.
I'm back. I'm back in the game.
I'm back to 100%.
5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%.
The moment you thought would never happen. I am here.
What? The rumors are true! Ronda Rousey is here!
Triple H and Stephanie, they couldn't wait to have you here because they wanted to manipulate you.
Ronda now reports to me. I am no one's property. I get to choose my opponent for WrestleMania. You.
WrestleMania.
It's gonna be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and me!
The moment you thought would never happen.
Tomorrow night, it all goes down in this building, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, the home of this year's WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is free for new subscribers to the WWE Network, and it's going to stream live tomorrow night. Yes, you heard me right. I said free. Wow. F-R-E-E. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this is where all the action is happening. A sold-out house for NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Well, here we all are on the eve of WrestleMania for the NXT TakeOver New Orleans pre-show. I'm your host, Charlie Caruso. I want to introduce to you the two men joining me on tonight's panel. First and foremost, he is the host of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show, the last professional broadcaster. I want to stress that, Sam Roberts.
Well, thank you again, Charlie. This has been an amazing kickoff show already, and I can't wait to find out what happens next and what happens at TakeOver.
And the man to my far left, he's from Barstool Sports. He's a former NFL player, All-Pro. I used to cover him when he was an Indianapolis Colt, Pat McAfee.
Charlie, thank you so much for that fantastic introduction again. Sam, somehow your eyebrows have looked better now than when the show started. I've learned a lot. The authors of pain don't write books. They just hurt people. It's been an amazing start to this show. I cannot wait to finish this thing off and get to the action in the ring, Charlie.
Some beautiful eyebrows there, but something that's not going to be so beautiful is the unsanctioned match that's going to go down between two bitter enemies. They used to be best friends, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, the only way for Gargano to keep his job in NXT is to beat Ciampa, and there are no room for rules in this unsanctioned showdown.
We are DIY, and we will have our moment.
This is like everything that we've ever worked for. Over 12 years.
NXT Tag Team titles, match of the year now, dream come true.
We've traveled the world together for the last 12 years.
DIY is us together. DIY is us together. Why? I saw you as my brother, my best friend, and I didn't think that was something you were even capable of.
You want answers? You did it to yourself, Johnny. Because you're selfish. You're selfish. Are we even gonna talk about the fact that I tore my damn ACL in that match? DIY was carried by me. It's always been about you, though. It's never been about us.
I think that's something you conjured up in your sick, deluded mind, but DIY was something special.
I decided finally, this isn't our moment. This is my moment.
When I return, I will be the most dangerous son of a bitch in all of NXT.
And then, you weren't there. I need to be Johnny Gargano again. I need to be Johnny freaking Wrestling! I thought I had it all figured out, but I didn't. That thought, it kept coming up.
And then, BAM! TakeOver Philadelphia was just a start. You're stupid enough to put your career on the line?
If I can't win the NXT Championship, I'll leave NXT!
You're selfish. And I wanted you to have your moment, and I wanted to rip it straight from your heart.
You cost me my NXT career? You've taken everything away from me. As a man, you can strike me down.
He's gone! Gone!
But as a symbol, I will live forever. My job is on the line. The If I beat you, I get reinstated in NXT.
The reason that this match is unsanctioned is because NXT knows what I'm going to do to you.
I don't care what happens to me anymore. I'm coming to New Orleans to beat the hell out of you.
Take over New Orleans. I take your spirit, your soul, your heart, Johnny Wrestling, and everything it stands for ends.
I will finally have my moment.
This is my moment.
Well, NXT General Manager William Regal, he's under the weather, not able to be here tonight, unfortunately. So Triple H stepping in his place. He is having Johnny Gargano sign the hold harmless agreement for this unsanctioned match. And remember, Johnny is not an employee of the WWE. He is not under contract, so he cannot hold the company responsible if he is hurt in any way, shape, or form in tonight's unsanctioned match. And guys, good chance Johnny does maybe get hurt tonight. Now joining us here on the panel, we have NXT superstar and Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae. Hi,
Hello.
Candice.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, Candice, right now, it's hard for me to even imagine what's going through your mind. Not only is your husband's job on the line, but he's in an unsanctioned match, which could get very ugly, between a guy who used to be his best friend, Tommaso Ciampa, a man you guys were so close with. So what is this like for you right now?
I kind of feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. This is somebody we lived with. I mean, he was our roommate. We had a very small, intimate wedding, and he was in, not just at our wedding, but in our wedding. And it just, I don't understand. I don't know who this person is anymore. It's like this sociopath that just appeared one day. And it's this match, there's so much more than just any job on the line. This is something that my husband has worked so hard for, and it's not just his dream job. Like, NXT it means so much to us. It's such a special place. And, you know, once I got here, we couldn't have been happier to both be here together. And now it's like this person just took all of that away. It's this fairy tale that we had just gone.
You talk about people's mental state and not knowing who they are. What's Johnny's mental state after gambling with his career and losing?
I mean, well, as his wife, I don't always necessarily agree with the choices. I don't think it was one of my favorite choices that he made, but I'm also a dreamer like he is, and I understand that, and I believed in him believing in this. Not happy with the outcome whatsoever.
How is he as a person, though? I mean, you know Johnny better than anybody.
It's been different since, I mean, Tommaso turned his back on him. I want my husband back, you know? I mean, he hasn't really been the same person that I married, and we used to just go out, have a great time, always happy, go lucky, fun. And I mean, even just this weekend, it's unsettling how calm he seems. Wow. He's I don't know. He's usually a little nervous, and he's that person that's pacing all over the place, and he's excited and nervous, and like he's ready to just go out there and do what he loves to do. But he's just it's this calm. And I've never seen before. Well,
Pat, I mean, have you done anything like that in
Johnny
big games?
has everything to lose here. Tommaso has nothing to lose here. It's such an emotional build-up. Mrs. Wrestling here, you almost brought a tear to my eye there talking about your husband being serious, but it's just, Johnny has everything to lose. It could be bye-bye Johnny tonight from the NXT if Tommaso comes out and wins in this match with no rules.
Well,
in this match with no rules.
What's Johnny fighting for here more? Is he fighting for revenge against his best friend that turned his back on him, or is he fighting for his career?
He's fighting for his dream. I mean, this is his dream. And it's just unfortunate. Like, the person that we thought Tommaso was, this brother, this best friend, that's not who this is anymore. This is some kind of monster that Johnny just needs to overcome. He needs to do this. He has to slay the dragon to go on.
Candice, are you more worried? I mean, I just can't. You're the position you're in. Are you more worried that he won't have a job in NXT anymore? Are you more concerned about his health and that he could really get injured tonight?
There's no rules.
Right.
No rules.
No rules.
It's a gamble. But again, I don't always have to agree or love the choices. But I am going to support him 100%. Hope for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. Hopefully that's not the case. Ideally. I want my husband back. I want us to be here at NXT together. I want him back here where he loves to be, in front of the WWE Universe that he loves to perform in front of.
Well, anything can happen in tonight's unsanctioned match, and a man who will be heavily involved in this match is the referee, of course. That's Drake Wharton. He is now joining us to give us a little bit of insight on this unsanctioned match. So, you know, Drake, we're all wondering about your role in this unsanctioned match.
My role, Charlie, is quite simple. This match is unsanctioned. There's no disqualification. There's no count out. There's no rules whatsoever. I'm there simply to count the pinfall, 1, 2, 3, or to call for submission should a man give up or tap out.
Drake, this might sound like a dumb question, but an unsanctioned match means no rules, right? This is Pat McAfee, by the way, big fan of yours. Your tan looks impeccable tonight. And I don't fully comprehend why there's a ref out there if there's no rules, Drake. What are you going to do out there? A ref is to enforce rules. This is a match with no rules, Drake. What are you and your tan going to do?
Absolutely, Pat. Big fan of yours as well. Greatest punter of all time.
Thank you.
But the fact of the matter is, I'm not in my normal element. There's no countouts, no submissions, there's no rope breaks, nothing of the sort. As I said, I'm there simply to count 1, 2, 3, or to call for a submission.
Drake, it's Sam Roberts, and I mean, you know how long I've been watching you and been watching Johnny, and most of us in the WWE Universe are not unfamiliar with your relationship. You apologized to him after counting the 1, 2, 3 on his career. What was that like for your relationship with him?
Well, Sam, you're right. I've known Johnny for a long time, over 10 years to be exact. Counting the pinfall that ended Johnny's NXT career, it was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. Whether I was knocked down or not, after watching the footage back on television, I made the wrong call. I made a bad call. Referees get put in a tough spot sometimes, but you know, counting that pinfall on Johnny, it's something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life.
Well, if that was the hardest thing that you've ever had to do, are you going to be able to count a fall or call a submission if you have to tonight in Ciampa's favor?
Oh.
Yes, I will.
All right, well, you know, it's a lot to really absorb. And Candice, you know, Candice, it's hard to find the right words to express, you know, I think how we're all feeling right now, knowing the position you're in, but we are wishing the best of luck to your husband tonight, and hope that everything works out for him, and you know, for both him and your sake. So thank you for being here with us. Well, as the minutes are ticking down to NXT TakeOver New Orleans, it is now time that we want to throw things over to the team calling all of the action. Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, and Percy Watson.
Thank you very much, Charlie, and all of us can empathize with the plight of the Gargano family. Tensions are palpable here tonight in New Orleans for what is the biggest NXT TakeOver event going down in the Big Easy. 4 championships up for grabs, and of course the evening will culminate with the resolution, we hope, of the most intense rivalry in NXT. And speaking of history, Nigel, we make it to kick off NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
Well, indeed, Mauro, we will start as we mean to continue, as 6 of the top competitors in NXT will compete for the newly minted North American Championship. It was just last week on NXT TV that all these men were in the ring poised for action. Tonight we will see that action as each man must climb the ladder to claim the title high above the ring.
And the Undisputed Era self-aggrandizing mouthpiece Adam Cole has been forced to work overtime tonight by NXT General Manager William Regal. So Cole replaces the injured Bobby Fish in the NXT Tag Team Championship match that will also serve as the 2018 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Final. Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, the Authors of Pain, and the upstart duo Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong will clash in a triple threat match.
Now, I can't wait to see that play out, but this is the rematch that the world has been talking about. Ember Moon barely survived her last encounter with Shayna Baszler. Now, after tonight, will Shayna Baszler be running the women's division, or will Ember Moon retain her NXT championship?
Well, talking of championships, Percy, it was just 2 weeks ago on NXT TV that the NXT champion, Andrade Cien Almas, attacked his challenger tonight, hoping to stop the striking man from Amsterdam's path to his title. Has Almas done enough, or will Black's dominating journey since coming to NXT end up with the NXT title around his waist tonight?
And the deeply personal conflict between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa comes to a head tonight in an unsanctioned match between the former best friends, former NXT Tag Team Champions. But tonight, if Gargano wins, he is back on the NXT roster. If Johnny Wrestling loses, he is gone for good. We want to remind you, especially you first-time subscribers, you can go to WWENetwork.com right now to begin your 30-day free trial.
And we want to remind everyone once again that WrestleMania is free to new subscribers. Yes, the 5-hour spectacular, absolutely free when you go to WWENetwork.com and sign up for your 30-day free trial, so make sure you get on that. But also, make sure you stick around for the rest of the NXT pre-show because we have a whole lot to talk about, including breaking down the NXT Championship match.
Brock Lesnar didn't show up for work today. What kind of penalty is there gonna be for him, huh? There's not gonna be because he's Vince's boy.
Does Brock have special privileges? He does. Brock Lesnar doesn't like people.
I don't respect Brock Lesnar, but you just make sure that he comes dressed for a fight.
Brock Lesnar defends his Universal Championship against Roman Reigns.
You're not taking this title from Brock Lesnar. There's a fine line between business and respect.
Roman Reigns has been temporarily suspended.
That is Roman Reigns. What's the big dog doing here? Roman's completely lost it. Brock Lesnar's here. The beast is here.
Roman Reigns isn't man enough to take another beating.
Oh my God. A defiant Roman Reigns unloading on Lesnar. It's just a downright massacre. This is shaping up to be one of the most brutal smash mouth battles in the history of WrestleMania.
To Kane Hill for Lord of Flies, the official theme song of NXT TakeOver New Orleans. It's from their self-titled album, Too Far Gone, available now on iTunes and Spotify. And Kane Hill going to be in the building for a huge live performance to kick off TakeOver tonight. So that is going to be a good time, a little extra treat for the NXT universe. NXT TakeOver brought to you by Rocket League. You get 2 free WWE in-game items now. Just select redeem code from the extras menu with code WrestleMania. And also, 5-hour energy shots. When your battery is running low, grab a 5-hour energy shot and get back to 100%. And happening later tonight is the culmination of a back-and-forth battle of not only physicality, but disrespect between the NXT champion Andrade Cien Almas and the mysterious Aleister Black. On the line, the NXT championship with both men looking to have the last say in this bitter rivalry.
Dominance of the truly good! Dominance of the truly evil! I do the things you never could! And we won't ever be equal! And now we're calling you out!
I think the ego...
Money, fame, power...
can convince you of invalid truths.
The greatest champion in NXT history! Andrade Cien Almas!
¡Allá! ¡El ídolo!
Andrade has risen to the top in NXT. The NXT title is a path that I set myself upon arriving. there is a devil on my back. And that devil is the NXT Championship.
Every time somebody has stepped in his way, he's knocked them down with that black mass spinning heel kick.
Andrade Cien Almas, the NXT Championship will be mine at NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
Aleister Black got into our heads, but now we're going to take
I told you, vas a respetar el campeonato, y a mí te voy a humillar, perro, lo voy a humillar.
Understand that there's an altercation going on outside the parking lot.
Come on!
Oh my God!
Respeta, perro.
Aleister Black is going to see the monster behind the man.
This devil has come to collect the NXT title.
Andrade Cien Almas feeling disrespected by Black.
Yo soy el campeón. This was just the beginning.
And joining us to help us break down the NXT Championship match, former NXT Champion Drew McIntyre. Hello, Drew. Welcome.
How are you? Good to be here on my anniversary, my 1-year anniversary since my return.
How are you feeling? What have you been up to the last few months since we last saw you?
Well, I've mostly been rehabbing the injury. You know, it's been an interesting 4 months now, but you know, since the injury happened, I basically said to myself, okay, what would John Cena do? I walked into the same rehab place, told them, give me the John Cena treatment.
Good question.
I was in rehab twice a day, in the gym the same day, 3 times a day, 6 days a week for 2.5 months, getting ready for my return. So I've literally only been rehabbing.
That is some determination.
Absolutely. You've been watching the guy who took not only the title from you, but who injured you, Andrade Cien Almas, hold that championship since you've been gone. How do you think he's been holding that championship?
Yeah, what can I say? The man's cocky, but he gets the job done. He was trying to find himself. He had all the talent in the world, and Zelina Vega put it all together. Now, we had a heck of a match, but they had a heck of a game plan, and it took dropping me on my head, tearing my bicep off to get the job done, but he took my title, and he took 4 months from me. And I assure you, when I'm coming back, I'm not just going to take that man's bicep, I'm going to take that man's head.
I speak for everybody here, NXT Universe included. We cannot wait to see you back. That training rehab regimen, asking what John Cena would do is brilliant. What do you think happens tonight? Do you think Aleister Black hits that fade to black, the spinning heel kick with perfect precision and blows the roof off of this place? What do you think is going to happen tonight?
I think it's irrelevant. I think as long as the best man wins, the best representative for NXT leading them into the future, my eyes are on Andrade. If he wins, excellent, we'll be fighting for the title. But when I'm finished with Andrade, if Aleister wins, we're going to reignite a feud we've taken across Europe. We're going to take it to the world, and you have some battles that will take NXT to the next level and heights we have never seen before.
Drew, I saw Aleister put a candle out with his fingertips last week on WWE Network.
Takes guts.
Drew, who would you like to see? Who would you like to face when you do return to be NXT champion? Who would you want to face of these two?
Like I said, I don't care. The best man will win tonight. Either way, I've got eyes on Andrade. I'm coming for him. I'm taking him down. And if Aleister wins, fantastic. When I'm finished with Andrade, Aleister and I will put the world on notice with our feud.
Okay, well, you have spoken, and there is only one way to find out who has taken home the NXT Championship tonight, and that is on the WWE Network. So if you haven't already, head on over right now to WWENetwork.com, sign up, and start your 30-day free trial.
And you really have no excuses not to sign up. I can't believe WWE is even doing this, but WrestleMania is free for new subscribers. It's unbelievable. This is the show of a lifetime. Tomorrow night, WrestleMania is going to be free for new subscribers. All the titles are on the line. Roman Brock, Ronda Rousey's debut, and it's free for new subscribers.
They are giving away the company. Listen, this is what you have to do. They're giving it away. WrestleMania is free for new subscribers. This is everything you want and then some. WWENetwork.com now to start your 30-day free trial. Take advantage of this now. It's going to be amazing tonight and tomorrow. They're giving away the company. You have to take advantage of this.
Well, this is the biggest weekend in sports entertainment. We want you to be part of it, and we're not talking minutes anymore. We're talking seconds.